Hello everyone, I'm Fiddle Johnson. Today, I want to speak to you about something that quietly holds our life together even when everything seems to fall apart, and that is hope. Not a weak, temporary feeling, but a powerful force that keeps you standing when everything inside you wants to give up. If you really think about it, what keeps a person moving forward when nothing is working, when plans fail, when people leave, when efforts give no result? It is not motivation alone. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is hope. That deep inner decision that says that is not the end. Life will test that hope again and again. There will be days when you feel lost, tired, confused and broken. Days when you question yourself and ask, am I good enough? Will things ever change? Why is this happening to me? In those memories, it feels like darkness is whining. It feels like there is no way out. But understand this clearly. Darkness is not the end of your story. It is the place where hope is meant to rise. Because hope shines the brightest when everything else is dark. Let me slow this down and say something important. Your life is not defined by your worst moment. It is defined by how you respond to it. And hope is what shapes that response. Without hope, problems look permanent. Without hope, even the biggest problem looks temporary. To understand this better, let me take you into a story. There was once a farmer in a small village. His life depended on his land. One year, a terrible drought hit his village. The rivers dried up, the soil cracked, crops failed. Day by day, the land turned into dust. People around him started giving up. They stopped going to their fields. They accepted defeat. But this farmer did something different. Every single morning, he woke up and walked to his field. Even when the land was dry, he kept watering it. Even when there was no sign of growth, he kept working. People laughed at him. They mocked him. They said, "Why are you wasting your time? There is no rain, no future." But the farmer replied with calm confidence, "I'm not working because I see results. I'm working because I believe rain will come." Days passed, weeks passed. Nothing changed. The land remained dry, but he didn't stop. And then one day, the sky turned dark, clouds gathered, thunder rolled, and finally it rained. The land that everyone had abandoned was not ready, but his land, that the one he never gave up on, was ready. Seeds grew, crops flourished, his harvest was strong. Why? Because while others lost hope, he held on to it. And that is the difference between those who succeed and those who don't. It is not just talent, it's not just opportunity, it is the ability to hold on when everything tells you to let go. Life works in the same way. Many people quit too early, they stop just before things begin to change. They lose hope just before the breakthrough. And later they say life is unfair. But the truth is, they stopped believing too soon. Now let me take you to another story. There was once a boy with a simple dream to succeed in life, to make his family proud. But life was not easy for him. He failed his exams once, then again and again. Every time he tried, he fell short. People started labeling him useless, not capable, good for nothing. His friends moved ahead while he stayed behind. Slowly those words began to enter his mind. Every failure made him feel smaller. Every mistake made him doubt himself. One day he sat alone and thought, maybe I'm not meant for success. That moment was critical because at that point he had two choices. Give up or try one more time. He chose hope. He decided, I may fail again, but I'll not stop trying. That decision changed everything. He didn't become successful overnight. He didn't suddenly become the smartest person, but he became consistent. He changed his habits. He studied with focus. He worked harder than before. Even when results were slow, even when progress was invisible, he didn't stop. Step by step, things began to change. He passed, he improved, he grew. And one day, the same boy who was called useless became someone people respected. Not because he never failed, but because he never gave up hope. And that is the truth about success. Success does not belong to those who never fail. Success belongs to those who refuse to quit. Now, pause and think about your own life. Right now, you may be facing your own drought. your own failures, your own struggles. Maybe things are not working. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel behind. But listen carefully. Your current situation is not your final destination. What you are going through is not where you will stay. It is where you are being shaped. Pain is not there to destroy you, it is there to prepare you. And hope is what carries you through that process. Hope tells you, wake up one more day. Hope tells you, try one more time. Hope tells you, you are closer than you think. You don't need to feel strong all the time. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to keep moving because strength grows through movement, not through waiting. Let me tell you another truth. Your mind is powerful. What you feed, it matters. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't, I'm not good enough, nothing will change, your actions will follow these thoughts. But if you choose hope, if you tell yourself, I will try, I will grow, this is not the end, your life will start shifting. Not immediately, not magically, but slowly, steadily. If you want to build unbreakable hope, start small. Believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Take action, even when motivation is low. Stay consistent, even when results are not visible. Surround yourself with people and thoughts that lift you up, not pull you down. Because hope grows where effort exists. And here is something powerful. One day you will look back at your life. You will remember the nights you cried, the days you struggled, the moments you felt like quitting. And you will realize those were the moments that built you. Those were the moments that made you stronger, wiser, and better. So today, make a decision. Not tomorrow, not next week, not today. Decide that no matter what happens, you will not lose hope. Decide that no matter how many times you will fall, you will rise again. Decide that your story will not end in failure, it will continue in growth. Because hope is not just a feeling, it is a choice you make every single day. And as long as you hold on to that choice, your story is not over. Your breakthrough is not far. Your future is still waiting. So I leave you with one question. When life gets hard, when everything feels uncertain, when darkness surrounds you, will you give up or will you choose hope? Choose wisely. Let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever felt like you are not strong enough to handle what you are going through? Like everything around you feels heavy, uncertain, and beyond your control. Most people don't say it out loud, but almost everyone has felt that at some point. Not because they are weak, but because they are human. There are moments when life tests you in ways you never expected. And in those moments, doubt begins to grow quietly inside your mind. But today, I want to challenge that doubt. Because the truth is, you are stronger than you think. Not because life is easy, but because you have already survived things you once believed would break you. If you take a moment to look back at your life, you will realize that there are situations that felt impossible at the time, yet you made it through them. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not without pain, but you did. That itself is proof of your strength. The problem is, most of us don't recognize our strength when we are in the middle of a struggle. We only see our weaknesses, our fears, and our limitations. We focus on what we feel in the moment rather than what we have already overcome. Strength is often misunderstood. People think strength means confidence, control, or having everything figured out. But real strength is much quieter than that. Real strength is waking up and continuing even when you feel exhausted. It is choosing to try again after failure. It is staying committed when no one is watching and no one is encouraging you. Strength is not about being perfect. It is about not giving up. When you begin to understand this, your perspective starts to change. You stop waiting to feel strong and instead you start recognizing that you are already strong. Every time you keep going despite discomfort, you are proving it to yourself. One of the biggest reasons people underestimate their strength is because of comparison. We constantly look at others and assume they are doing better, handling things better, or living easier lives. But what we see is only the surface. We don't see their struggles, their doubts, or the effort behind their growth. Life is not a competition with others. It is a personal journey of growth. The only comparison that truly matters is who you were yesterday and who you are becoming today. Another reason we feel weak is because we rely too much on how we feel. Feelings are temporary. Some days you will feel confident and some days you won't. Some days you will feel motivated and some days you will struggle. But your ability is not defined by how you feel in a moment. You may feel tired, but you are still moving forward. You may feel uncertain, but you are still trying. You may feel like stopping, but you haven't stopped yet. That is strength. Sometimes the reason we don't see our strength is because we are too close to our struggles. When you are inside a difficult situation, everything feels bigger than it actually is. The pressure feels heavier, the problem feels permanent, and your mind convinces you that you cannot handle it. But when time passes and you look back, your perspective changes. You begin to see things more clearly. You realize that what once felt overwhelming was something you were capable of handling. The same thing is happening right now in your life. What feels difficult today will one day become something you understand with clarity. And when that moment comes, you will recognize the strength you are building right now. Strength is often developed in silence. It does not always come with recognition or applause. It grows quietly in your daily efforts, in your discipline, in your decision to keep going even when no one is watching. Because it is silent, many people think they are not progressing. But progress is not always loud. Sometimes it is simply the ability to handle things better than before. Sometimes it is staying calm where you once reacted. Sometimes it is continuing where you would have stopped earlier. These are signs of growth. These are signs of strength. We also need to understand the role of challenges in shaping us. Most people wish for a life without problems, but a life without challenges would not build anything meaningful. It would not develop resilience, discipline, or character. Challenges are not interruption to your life. They are part of your development. They are shaping you into a stronger, more capable person. When you begin to see challenges this way, your mindset changes. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is this teaching me? That shift changes everything. It is also important to understand that strength is not the absence of fear. Fear is natural. Doubt is natural. Uncertainty is a part of growth. Strength is the ability to move forward despite those feelings. Everyone feels fear. The difference is in the response. Some people stop because of fear. Others continue despite it. And those who continue are the ones who grow. You do not need to have everything figured out to move forward. You do not need perfect confidence. What you need is the willingness to continue, even when things are unclear. Confidence is not something that comes before action. It is something that develops because of action. Every time you take a step forward, even a small one, you build trust in yourself. And that trust becomes confidence over time. Growth is not a straight path. There will be ups and downs, progress and setbacks, clarity and confusion. But none of that defines your potential. It is simply the part of the process. Consistency matters more than perfection. Showing up matters more than getting everything right. Continuing matters more than immediate results. When you focus on consistency, you allow yourself to grow without pressure. You give yourself the space to improve and evolve. It is also important to remember that you do not need external validation to recognize your strength. You do not need others to approve your journey. Your growth is your own, and your strength is something you experience within yourself. As you continue, you will start noticing changes. You will handle situations with more clarity. You will respond with more control. You will feel more stable even in uncertainty. That is real strength. It is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, grounded, and reliable. And over time, that strength transforms you. You become more patient, more focused, and more resilient. You begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to grow. And one day, you will look back and realize that the person you once were is not the person you are anymore. That transformation does not happen suddenly. It happens through small, consistent effort over time. It happens every time you choose to continue instead of quitting. So instead of doubting yourself, start recognizing your progress. Instead of focusing on what you lack, focus on what you are building. Instead of questioning your strength, start trusting it. Because the strength you are looking for is already within you. It is not something you need to find. It is something you need to realize. Every challenge you face is not there to break you. It is there to build you. It is preparing you for a stronger, more capable version of yourself. So whatever you are going through right now, do not run away from it. Face it with patience. Face it with effort. Face it with belief. Because this moment is not the end of your story. It is the part of your growth. And one day, when you look back, you will not see weakness, you will see strength. You will see how far you have gone, how much you have endured, and how much you have grown. Before I begin, I want you to pause for a moment and think about your life. Not your exams, not your marks, but your life. The life you dream of, the person you want to become, the future you imagine for yourself. Now ask yourself honestly, are you really moving towards it, or are you just thinking about it? Because the truth is, most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they waste time. Slowly, silently, without even realizing it, time slips away. And one day, you wake up and understand that the time you thought you had is already gone. And that realization hurts more than failure itself. Time is the only thing in life that never waits. You can delay your work, you can ignore your goals, you can postpone your plans, but you cannot pause time. Every day you are given 24 hours, not more, not less. The most successful student has the same 24 hours. That average student has the same 24 hours. Even the one who struggles has the same 24 hours. The difference is not intelligence, not luck, nor background. The difference is how those 24 hours are used. Let me tell you something important. Time management is not about being busy all the time. Many students think that if they are always doing something, they are being productive. But being busy is not the same as being productive. You can spend the entire day doing small, easy tasks and still achieve nothing meaningful. Time management is about focusing on what actually matters. It is about doing right things at the right time. Once, there was a student who was not very talented. He was not the fastest learner, not the most intelligent in the class. But he had one habit. He respected time. Every day he planned his day, even if it was a simple plan. He studied with focus, even if it was for a short duration. He avoided distractions, even when it was difficult. On the other side, there was another student who was naturally talented. He understood concepts quickly. He had the ability to score high marks, but he kept postponing his work. He always believed he had time. He kept saying, "I'll do it later." But later kept moving. Days passed, weeks passed, and when the exams came, he was not ready. The result was simple. The one who respected time succeeded, and the one who depended on talent failed to meet his own expectations. This is the reality of life. Talent can give you an advantage, but without discipline, it cannot take you far. Time management is not a skill only for toppers. It is a skill for anyone who wants to improve their life. Now, let us talk about the biggest challenge students face today. Distraction. We live in a world where everything is designed to steal your attention. Your phone, your notifications, social media, short videos, endless scrolling. You pick up your phone for a few minutes and before you realize it, hours are gone. Not because you are lazy, but because your attention is being controlled. If you do not take control of your time, something else will. Think about this. If you spend 2 hours every day on unnecessary scrolling, that becomes 14 hours a week. In a month, it becomes more than 50 hours. In a year, it becomes hundreds of hours. Imagine what you could do with that time. You could learn a skill, improve your knowledge, build your future. But instead, that time disappears without leaving anything valuable behind. There was another student who had big dreams. He wanted to achieve something meaningful in life. But his daily routine did not match his dreams. He woke up late, studied without focus, spent hours on his phone, and kept telling himself that he would start seriously from tomorrow. One day, someone told him a simple sentence: your future is created by your daily routine. That sentence stayed with him. He realized that dreaming about success is easy, but working for it every day is difficult. He did not change everything overnight. He started small. He woke up a little earlier. He reduced his screen time. He created a simple plan for his day. He followed it even when he did not feel like it. Slowly, his habits began to change. His focus improved. His confidence grew. His results started improving. Not because he became more intelligent, but because he became more disciplined with his time. This is how real change happens. Not in one day, not with one big decision, but with small actions repeated every day. Many students wait for motivation. They say, I'll start when I feel motivated. But motivation is not reliable. Some days you feel energetic, some days you feel tired. If your progress depends on your mood, you will never be consistent. Discipline is more powerful than motivation. Discipline means doing something what needs to be done even when you do not feel like doing it. Now let us talk about how you can actually manage your time better. The first step is awareness. You need to understand where your time is going. For one day, observe yourself honestly. Notice how much time you spend studying, how much time you spend on your phone, how much time you waste without realizing. That awareness alone can create change. The second step is planning. You do not need a complicated schedule. Even a simple plan can make a big difference. Decide what you will study, when you will study it, and how long will you study. When you have a plan, your mind becomes clear. The third step is focus. When you sit to study, study properly. Do not mix study with distractions. Give your full attention to what you are doing. Even 1 hour of focused study is more powerful than 3 hours of distracted study. The fourth step is consistency. You do not need to study for 10 hours in one day and then do nothing for the next 3 days. It is better to study for a few hours every day consistently. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. The fifth step is balance. Time management does not mean you have to remove all enjoyment from your life. You can relax, you can spend time with your friends, you can enjoy your hobbies, but it should not come at the cost of your goals. Let me tell you something very important. You are not behind in life. Many students feel like they are late, like others are ahead of them. But life is not a race against others. It is a journey of your own growth. The only question that matters is, are you improving compared to yesterday? Your future self depends on your present actions. Every hour you spend today is shaping your future. The habits you build now will decide the life you live later. One day you will look back at this phase of your life. You will remember how you used to use your time, and you will either feel proud or regretful. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Imagine the person you want to become. That version of you is not created suddenly. It is built slowly, day by day, through your actions, your choices, your discipline. You do not need to be perfect. You do not need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. Start with 1 hour of focused work. Start with reducing one distraction. Start with following one small habit. Small steps, when done consistently lead to big results. Many people wait for the perfect moment. They think they'll start when everything is ready. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. The best time to start is now. Time will pass away. Whether you use it or waste it, it will move forward. The only question is, will you move forward with it? So today, make a decision. Not tomorrow, not next week, but today. Decide that you will respect your time. Decide that you will take control of your habits. Decide that you will work towards your goals even when it is difficult. Because one day you will look back at your life and you will either say, I wish I had started earlier, or you will say, I'm proud that I did not waste my time. That choice is in your hands right now. Time will pass anyway. Question is, will you grow with it or will you regret? Before we get into today's discussion, let's take a moment to think about how parents feel when they realize their teenage child is addicted to substances. Imagine their heartbreak, the sleepless nights, and the constant fear of losing their child to addiction. Parents invest their love, time, and effort into raising their children, only to see them fall into a dangerous path. They feel helpless, guilty, and sometimes even blame themselves. The emotional toll is heavy, not just on the child, but on the entire family. What makes this situation even more alarming is that substance use doesn't just harm the person using it, it affects everyone around them. In some extreme cases, teenagers under the influence of drugs have been violent, even turning against their own friends and family. Addiction can cloud judgment, trigger aggression, and push individuals to do things they would never consider when sober. We have heard of cases where substance abuse has led to tragic incidents, teens harming their loved ones, destroying relationships, and even committing crimes they later regret. This is why addressing this issue is not just about protecting individuals, but also ensuring the safety of families and communities. Today, let's have an open and honest conversation about substance use among teenagers. This is not just a problem affecting individuals, it's a crisis impacting families, schools, and entire communities. In this session, we'll take a deep dive into what's happening, especially in Kerala. Understand why teenagers turn to substances, explore the harmful effects, and discuss what we can do together to stop this growing issue. Kerala, known for its high literacy rates and focus on education, is now facing an increasing problem of substance use among teenagers. Reports show a rise in alcohol and tobacco consumption, along with newer and more dangerous substances like synthetic drugs. Many cases of teenage drug addictions are being reported across the state. Even in schools and colleges, some shocking incidents include students being caught with drugs, cases of overdose, and even drug networks operating among young people. Why is this happening? Easy access is one major reason. Despite strict laws, alcohol, tobacco, and drugs are still reaching teenagers through illegal sellers. Some even get these substances delivered through social media contacts. Peer pressure also plays a big role. Many teenagers try substances because their friends do it, and their fear of being left out. Stress and mental health issues, including academic pressure, family issues, and personal struggles, push many young people to substances as a way to escape them. Curiosity and experimentation also play a role. Some teens use substances just to try something new, without realizing how dangerous it can be. Media influence is another factor, as social media, movies, and music often glorify substance use, making it seem cool or acceptable. The effects of substance use are far more serious than many people realize. Firstly, physical health issues include addiction, which can develop quickly and make it difficult to quit. Alcohol and tobacco damage the liver, lungs, and heart, while synthetic drugs can cause seizures, memory loss, and even permanent brain damage. Mental health problems are also common. Drugs and alcohol use is linked to anxiety, depression, and suicidal thoughts. Many young people experience mood swings, aggression, or paranoia. Secondly, academics and career opportunities are affected as well. Students using substances often struggle in school due to lack of focus and motivation. Dropping out or failing exams can limit future career opportunities. Substance use also leads to social and legal issues such as fights, reckless behavior, and even crimes. Getting caught with illegal substances can lead to arrest and legal consequences. And finally, family and friendships are often damaged. Substance use can create conflicts with parents and siblings, and friendships may break due to changes in behavior and priorities. This is not just a problem for individuals, it's something we all need to work on together. There are many ways we can reduce substance use among teenagers. Raising awareness and education is one of the first steps. Schools should have regular sessions on the dangers of drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. Teenagers need to know the real life consequences of substance use. Open conversations at home can also make a big difference. Parents should talk to their children about substance use instead of just warning them. And teenagers should feel comfortable discussing their problems with their families. Mental health support is another key factor. Many teenagers turn to substances due to stress, depression, or anxiety. Schools and communities should provide easy access to counseling and mental health services. Stricter law enforcement is also needed. Illegal sellers of alcohol or drugs should be strictly punished, and schools should monitor students to prevent drug circulation inside campuses. Engaging teenagers in positive activities can help them stay away from negative influences. Sports, music, and community programs can provide safe alternatives to substance use. Finding hobbies and passions can help young people avoid boredom and bad company. Strong role models also play a huge role. Teachers, parents, and community leaders should set a good example. And society should stop glorifying substance use in entertainment and media. To make this discussion even more real, let's look at some actual cases that have been reported. In some Kerala schools, students were caught using drugs inside the campus, leading to strict actions. A few teenage drug overdose cases have been reported, showing how dangerous substance use can be. Some teenagers who started with small substances like cigarettes or alcohol ended up addicted to more harmful drugs. These real-life examples show why this issue needs an urgent attention. Substance use among teenagers is a growing problem, but it's not impossible to solve. By creating awareness, offering mental health support, and ensuring strict legal action, we can protect young lives. Everyone has a role to play, whether you're a parent, teacher, friend, or teenager yourself. We need to choose a healthier path. Let's work together to create a future where young people make smart, informed choices. I want to speak about something that affects every single one of us, parenting. Now, I may not be a parent myself, but as a 17-year-old, I have spent my entire life being raised by parents, observing different parenting styles and understanding firsthand what works, what doesn't, and what young people truly need. Parenting is one of the most important responsibilities a person can have. It is not just about providing food, shelter, and education. It is about shaping a child into a confident, responsible, and a kind individual. And while every parent has the best intentions, there is often a gap between what parents believe is best for the child and what the child actually experiences. This gap can lead to misunderstandings, frustrations, and even emotional distance between parents and children. My goal today is to bridge that gap by sharing their perspective of a teenager, what we need, what we struggle with, and how parenting can truly make a difference in our lives. As teenagers, we are at a stage in life where we are no longer children, but not quite adults either. It is a time of immense change, physically, emotionally, and mentally. We are figuring out who we are, what we believe in, and what our future might look like. This process is not easy, and at times it can feel overwhelming. While we crave independence, we also rely on our parents for guidance and support. The challenge is that we don't always know how to ask for help. Instead, we may become distant, frustrated, or even rebellious. But deep down, what we truly need is understanding. One of the most important things parents can do is listen. Many teenagers feel unheard, as if their thoughts and emotions doesn't matter. When we try to express our feelings, we are often met with immediate solutions, lectures, or even dismissal. While we understand that parents want to help, sometimes what we need most is simply to be heard.
A simple "I understand" or "tell me more" can make a huge difference. This approach can sometimes make teenagers afraid to share their mistakes for fear of punishment. Other parents take a more relaxed approach, allowing their children their freedom to make their own decisions. While independence is valuable, but too much freedom without guidance can lead to poor decision making. And then there are parents who are unintentionally distant, either because they are busy with work or unsure how to connect with their child. This can make a teenager feel like they are navigating their life alone. The most effective parenting style is to find a balance of setting clear expectations while also allowing room for growth. Rules should not just be enforced, they should be explained. When teenagers understand why a rule exists, they are more likely to respect it. Parenting should not be about control, but about teaching children how to make responsible choices on their own. Beyond rules and discipline, the foundation of a strong parent-child relationship is called connection. This connection is built not only through major life moments, but through everyday interactions. Asking about our day, showing interest in our hobbies, and spending quality time together. These small actions mean more than they seem. Sometimes parents feel that their teenagers do not want to spend time with them. But in reality, we do appreciate their presence. Even if we seem disinterested or distracted, the effort does not go unnoticed. One of the greatest gifts a parent can give their child is trust. Teenagers need to be given the space to make their own decisions and even their own mistakes. Of course, guidance is essential, but constantly controlling every aspect of our lives can make us feel suffocated. Trust allows us to build confidence in our own abilities, knowing that our parents believe in us. At the same time, we understand that trust must be earned. When we are given responsibility and we handle it well, it reinforces our beliefs in ourselves. When we make mistakes, we need parents who guide us through the consequences rather than just punishing us. Another crucial aspect of parenting is respecting emotions. Teenagers experience a whirlwind of emotions, and sometimes even we don't understand why we feel the way we do. It is important for parents to recognize that our struggles, no matter how small they may seem, feel very real to us. Saying things like "that's not a big deal" or "you'll understand when you're older" can make us feel invalidated. Instead, acknowledging our feelings and offering support can help us navigate difficult situations with confidence. Patience argue and test boundaries. But these are all part of growing up. The way parents respond in these moments shapes how we learn and develop. If we make mistake is met with harsh criticism, it can make us afraid to try new things or take risks. On the other hand, if mistakes are treated as learning experiences, we develop resilience and problem-solving skills. At the heart of all, parenting is about being there, not just as an authority figure, but as a source of love, guidance, and unwavering support. Teenagers may not always express gratitude, and we may even push back against rules and advices. But deep down, we do recognize and appreciate the efforts our parents make. The lessons they teach us, the patience they show, and the love they give will stay with us long after we leave the home. To all the parents listening today, know that your presence matters. Your words, your actions, and your support shape the person your child will become. Parenting is not just about perfection, it is about effort, understanding, and love.
Thanks for being here with me. I'm not here just to talk at you. I'm here with you as someone who's felt pain, confusion, all those silent struggles so many people carry around. The topic tonight cuts deep. Honestly, it's something millions go through, but almost nobody talks about. God is silent, but not absent. Sometimes you go through these quiet seasons. It's like everything suddenly turns down. The prayers you send out hit the ceiling and just hang there. You work your tail off, but no one seems to notice. Tears roll down your face at night while everyone else assumes you have got it all together. Outside, you are smiling. Inside, there is a whole storm. Eventually, the questions come and they can scare you. God, where are you? Why does life feel so heavy? Why won't you talk to me? Most people don't just lose hope because they are weak. They are worn out. Our generation carries invisible pain every single day. Minds, hearts, souls, they are tired. Someone is quietly battling depression. Someone else is choking on anxiety. Someone is trying to recover after betrayal, heartbreak, money troubles, family fights, loneliness. The list keeps going. The worst is, so many people suffer in silence because they don't believe anyone would get it. The thing is, people look fine or even super successful from the outside. Social media has turned that into an art form. Someone posts a happy picture, then cries themselves to sleep. A man jokes with his friends, but inside he's carrying pressures you'd never guess. A mom keeps everyone else strong, but she's breaking. People have become pros at hiding pain. Today, I just want you to hear this. Your hidden tears matter to God. Those prayers you whisper and those moments when you're just too tired, they matter. Heaven being quiet does not mean you have been abandoned. One of the hardest things you'll ever do is wait. Honestly, waiting can chew you up inside, especially when you're doing all the right things. Praying, trusting, working hard, and yet doors stay shut. You watch others' life take off while yours is stuck on pause. You see people celebrating while you keep struggling. After a while, you start comparing. You wonder if God's forgotten you. You question your worth, your future. But here's the truth. A delay isn't a denial. Sometimes you're waiting for just isn't ready. And maybe neither are you. Look at Joseph, years in prison before a palace. David was passed over for years before he became king. Moses wandered for ages before he led anyone. Even Jesus endured suffering before resurrection. The toughest part isn't the breakthrough. It is the long, lonely season before it. Everybody wants success now, but growth that's slow, uncomfortable. Pain shapes us in ways comfort just can't. When you go through suffering, you learn compassion, depth, patience, stuff you can't fake. God's silence isn't emptiness. When it gets quiet, suddenly you hear the stuff inside you, fears you have been hiding, wounds you have ignored. When the noise fades, reality shows up, and no one likes that. It's raw, it's honest, but that's where real healing starts. Lot of us drown out the silence with noise, phones, scrolling, endless distraction, anything to avoid facing what's inside. But healing needs truth, not pretending everything is fine. You have got to be real to heal. No more telling yourself you're okay. If you're shattered, I'm hurting, I feel lost, I'm worn out. These confessions crack open the door for healing. Because healing doesn't start where you're pretending to be strong. It begins when the masks finally drop. There is this expectation that people, especially men, should suck it up, never show weaknesses. That's why so many keep aching in silence. Pressure, responsibility, fear, bills, being strong for others, it piles up. But showing pain doesn't make you weak. Crying doesn't make you weak. Even the toughest breakdown, even the faith-filled have dark days. Some of the strongest people you know are locked in quiet battles. Never assume that just because someone else is smiling, they are okay. Mental exhaustion creeps in slow. First, you're just tired. Then things you loved don't excite you. Next, overthinking takes the wheel. Even simple stuff feels huge. That's how it sneaks up. Soon, hope feels out of reach. It takes work to protect your mind. Thoughts can poison your peace, even if they are left to rot. Fear lives in silence. Overthinking is a liar. Anxiety tries to tell you the worst is coming next. But not every thought deserves your attention. Sometimes what you feel isn't the final word. Pain says the storm won't end. Fear tries to convince you you're alone. Failure says you're worthless, but none of that's forever. Storms move on. Bad chapters aren't the whole story. One peaceful season can flip your life. One chance, one prayer answered, one glimmer of hope can change everything. Don't underestimate what's possible. Sometimes the breakthrough hits just after you almost quit. A lot of people bail just before things start moving. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean nothing is happening. Seeds go deep before they break the surface. Dawn starts before you see the sun. Healing works quietly before the world notices. God's ways aren't always clear. He removes some people to protect you. He slams doors to redirect you. He waits until you're really ready. Not just wishing for something. Sometimes what you think is punishment is actually protection. Down the road, maybe you look back and realize those bad seasons actually saved you. Suffering changes you. After pain, you see things differently. Heartbreaks make you value loyalty. Loneliness helps you value true connection. Failure builds humility. After the darkest nights, you appreciate peace in a whole new way. People who never struggle stay shallow, survive a storm, and you develop a depth you didn't have before. You become gentle with others' wounds. You hear what someone is not saying. You learn patience. All that pain, it's not pointless. The fact that you're still here has meaning. Someday, your story may pull someone else out of their darkness. Maybe God lets you walk through the valley so you can hold out a hand to someone still stuck there. Your survival can become someone else's hope. That's why sticking it out matters. Every day you keep going, you get stronger. Endurance turns into resilience. Resilience turns into wisdom. Wisdom turns into maturity. And we all know maturity doesn't come easy. It is usually born from pain. People love success stories when they skip all the nights spent awake worrying, all the failures, the heartbreak, the sacrifices, the messy middle. Growth feels like breaking sometimes. Change isn't comfortable, but staying broken forever, that's worse. I know some of you listening feel empty right now. You wake up exhausted. You're disconnected from any real happiness. You pray, but you just feel numb. You're tired of pretending for other people. Listen closely. Where you are right now is not forever. You're not permanently broken. Healing may be slow, but it's possible. Don't rush yourself. Broken hearts heal best with patience and gentleness. Scars can heal even if it takes a while. That's still progress. Stop comparing your healing to anyone else's. Some people bounce back quick. Others need more time. Neither way is wrong. Let yourself breathe. Give yourself permission to rest, to heal. And whatever you do, don't cut yourself off completely. Isolation makes the pain feel bigger. We all need people. Just one honest conversation can give you back hope. Never overlook what kindness can do. A few honest words can change someone's life. There is pain all around us. People are quietly fighting battles you can't see. Depression, grief, money problems, exhaustion, confusion. Be gentle. You don't always know what someone is going through. And if you're the one struggling right now, please remember, your life matters. Your story still counts. Your future isn't over. I want to share about something that affects all of us deeply. The power of prayer. Many people think prayer is just asking for things, but it is so much more. Prayer is about connecting with God through praise, repentance, asking and surrendering. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through these 4 parts. Pray. and show how prayer is a powerful tool for peace, strength, and transformation in our lives. Let's explore together what makes prayer such a source of hope and comfort. Firstly, the letter P stands for praise. Praise is the expression of gratitude and reverence towards God. It is recognizing His greatness, goodness, and mercy. Praise is not only for times when we want to ask for something, it is a daily celebration of God's presence in our lives. Even in difficult times, praise uplifts the spirit. Think of King David in the Psalms. He praised God through every circumstances, whether he was in joy or sorrow. Psalm 150 encourages us, let everything that has breath praise the Lord. True praise arises from the heart and can be expressed in many ways. Singing joyful songs, dancing with gladness, raising hands in worship, or simply being thankful silently. This practice keeps our hearts focused on the divine rather than our problems. Next, R means repent. Repentance is a crucial part of prayer. It means acknowledging our wrongdoings and seeking God's forgiveness sincerely. God's mercy is infinite and He invites us to come to Him with pure hearts. For example, if someone lies or harms another, repentance means feeling true remorse, confessing before God and committing to change. The Bible tells us in 1 John 1 verse 9, if we confess our sins, He is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Repentance is not about fear, but about restoring our relationship with God, allowing His grace to cleanse and renew us. The third letter, A, stands for ask. Asking God in prayer is an act of humility and trust. It shows we depend on Him for our needs, hopes, and even our uncertainties. Jesus Himself encouraged us to ask in Matthew 7 verse 7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. Asking is not selfishness, but an honest outpouring of our hearts. God listens to every request, big or small, but sometimes His answers come in unexpected ways or times. It is important to ask with faith, believing that God's plan is perfect, even if it differs from our desires. Lastly, Y is for yield. Yielding is surrendering our will to God's wisdom, accepting His guidance in our lives. Life often does not go the way we plan, but prayer helps us trust that there is greater purpose beyond our understanding. Yielding means saying, Lord, not my will, but yours be done. It calls for humility and patience. In the Garden of Gethsemane, before Jesus' crucifixion, Jesus prayed this way, teaching us the ultimate lesson of surrender. Even when challenges persist, yielding allows us to experience God's peace with strength within. We acknowledge that God, the creator of all, knows best what's right for us. All religions emphasize prayer as the highest duty. It is the path to seek meaning, receive guidance, and maintain our spiritual health. Prayer is not limited to asking for needs. It is about communion with the divine source that sustains everything. Let me share a story related to prayer. Once, a farmer had two daughters. The elder daughter was married to a farmer, and the younger daughter was married to a potter. The elder daughter asked the farmer to pray for rain because their crops needed water. The younger daughter asked him to pray for sunshine because the potter's clay items couldn't dry with the rain. The farmer was confused. Praying for one would cause trouble for another. After much thought, he prayed simply, Lord, may your will be done, for you know what is best. This story teaches that prayer is not trying to change God's plan, but about finding peace in surrendering to His wisdom. When we trust in God's timing and plan, we find peace in uncertain circumstances also. Now, I would like to share some benefits of prayer. 1. Prayer encourages individuals to examine their thoughts, actions, and motivations honestly. 2. Prayer reduces anxiety, stress, giving a way to release worries and fears to God. 3. It increases inner peace and calmness, helping us face life's challenges with confidence. 4. It improves mental clarity and focus as prayer often brings reflection and guidance. 5. It strengthens faith and trust in God's plan even during difficult times. 6. It promotes forgiveness and healing by helping us let go of grudges and resentment. 7. It encourages gratitude, reminding us to appreciate the blessings we have. 8. It boosts emotional resilience, enabling us to bounce back from hardships. 9. It fosters a sense of purpose and direction as we align our will with God's guidance. And 10. It enhances compassion and empathy, especially when praying for others. Prayer also builds a supportive community, as shared prayer brings people together in unity and love. Prayer, therefore, is not just a spiritual act, but a source of strength, healing, and growth in every aspect of our lives. As we come to the end of this journey through prayer, I want to remind you that prayer is not an obligation or a ritual. It is a beautiful living relationship with God, a relationship that invites us to be honest, humble, and thankful. Through praising, we celebrate God's goodness. Through repenting, we turn back from our mistakes and embrace forgiveness. Through asking, we bring our hopes and needs boldly before God. And through yielding, we surrender our lives to His loving guidance. Prayer transforms us from within. It gives us peace beyond understanding, courage to face adversity, and hope in the darkest hours. It replaces anxiety with trust, confusion with clarity, and bitterness with compassion. The story of the farmer and his two daughters reminds us that prayer is not about demanding our will, but trusting in God's perfect plan. When we pray with faith, we don't just speak words, we open our hearts to a divine love that never fails. I encourage all of us to make prayer a central part of our daily lives. Not just a habit, but as a lifeline. As we pray, we may find strength, healing, community, and the courage to walk forward on the path of God that God has set for each of us. Today, I want to speak about something that is deeply emotional, powerful, and life-changing: the power of forgiveness. Have you ever been hurt so deeply that even thinking about that person brings pain to your heart? Have you ever smiled in front of people while carrying anger, disappointment, betrayal, or heartbreak inside you? Many people think forgiveness is easy, but the truth is, forgiveness is one of the hardest things a human being can do. Because sometimes the people who hurt us are the people we trusted the most. Family, friends, someone we loved, someone we prayed for. And when pain comes from the people closest to us, it changes us emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But today, I want to tell you something powerful. Holding on to pain will never heal you. Holding on to anger will never give you peace. Revenge may satisfy your emotions for a moment, but forgiveness heals your soul for a lifetime. Forgiveness is not weakness. Forgiveness is strength. It takes real courage to say, "You hurt me, but I refuse to let that pain control my life anymore." There are people listening to this right now who are emotionally exhausted, not because of what happened yesterday, but because of what happened years ago. Some people are still carrying words spoken to them in childhood. Some are still carrying betrayal from relationships. Some are carrying disappointment from parents, friends, or even from themselves. And slowly that pain becomes anger, and that anger becomes bitterness. And bitterness steals peace from the heart. One of the saddest things in life is when someone destroys their own happiness because they cannot let go of that pain. You can smile outside and still be broken inside. You can laugh with people and still cry silently at night. And many people today are emotionally tired because they are carrying wounds they were never meant to carry for this long. Once there was a man who was deeply betrayed by his closest friend. They grew up together, shared dreams together, and trusted each other like brothers. But one day, because of money and selfishness, that friend cheated him and disappeared. The betrayal broke him completely. For years, he carried anger inside his heart. Every time someone mentioned that person's name, his mood changed. He stopped trusting people. He became colder emotionally. His family noticed that he was no longer happy, but he kept saying, "I'm fine." One day, an old man asked him a simple question. The person who hurt you, are they suffering every day because of what they did? The man replied, no. The old man said, then why are you punishing yourself for someone else's mistake? That question changed his life. He realized something powerful. The person who hurt him had moved on, but he was still mentally living inside that pain. Slowly, he chose forgiveness. Not because the betrayal was small, but because his peace mattered more than his anger. And for the first time in years, he felt emotionally free. That is the power of forgiveness. Sometimes forgiveness does not change the other person. Sometimes it changes you. It frees your heart. It gives peace to your mind. It helps you sleep without hatred in your soul. Even in faith, forgiveness is one of the greatest lessons God teaches us. Imagine this. Even after all the pain, betrayal, humiliation, and suffering, Jesus still chose forgiveness. In moments where many people would choose hatred, he chose mercy. That is real strength. Anyone can hate, anyone can seek revenge, but only strong people can forgive. There was also a young woman who lost her relationship because someone lied about her. People judged her without knowing the truth. Friends stopped talking to her. She cried almost every night asking God, why did this happen to me? Slowly, anger filled her heart. She wanted everyone who hurt her suffer the same pain. But one day during prayer, she realized something deeply emotional. Pain had changed her into someone she never wanted to become. The people who hurt her had already taken enough from her. She did not want them to steal her peace too. So she made a decision. She forgave them silently, not because they apologized, not because they deserved it, but because she deserved peace. And after that, something changed inside of her. She started healing emotionally. She started smiling genuinely again. Her relationship with God became stronger. She understood that forgiveness is not about pretending the pain never happened. It is about refusing to let pain control your future. Some people listening to this are waiting for apologies that may never come. But healing does not begin when someone apologizes. Healing begins when you decide you no longer want to carry hatred inside your heart. Forgiveness does not mean allowing toxic people to destroy your life again. Forgiveness does not mean trusting everyone again immediately. Sometimes forgiveness simply means letting go emotionally and giving your pain to God. You can forgive someone and still protect your peace. You can forgive someone and still walk away from what hurt you. Today, many people are losing peace because of ego. Relationships are breaking because nobody wants to say sorry. Families stop talking for years because of pride. Friendships end because of misunderstandings. But life is too short to spend years carrying hatred. One day, we will all realize that peace was more important than proving who was right. And maybe the hardest person to forgive is yourself. Some people are not angry at others. They are angry at themselves. They regret decisions. They hate themselves for mistakes from the past. They keep replaying failures in their mind every day. But listen carefully. God's mercy is bigger than your past. You are not meant to live your entire life punishing yourself for who you used to be. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone fails. Everyone has moments they wish they could change. But healing begins when you stop hating yourself and start growing from your pain. The past should teach you, not destroy you. Forgiveness is not a one-day process. Sometimes you forgive slowly. Sometimes the pain returns and you have to forgive again emotionally. Healing takes time, but every step forward, forgiveness brings you closer to peace. Imagine living without hatred in your heart. Imagine sleeping peacefully without replaying old pain. Imagine smiling without carrying emotional heaviness inside you. That freedom is possible, but it begins with letting go. So today, I want to ask you something emotional and personal. Who are you still angry with? Who are you still mentally fighting every day? And most importantly, is holding on to pain really giving you peace? Maybe today is the day you stop carrying emotional chains that were slowly destroying your happiness. Maybe today is the day you chose healing over hatred, peace over pride, forgiveness over revenge. Because forgiveness is not just about changing relationships. Sometimes forgiveness saves your own heart. And always remember this powerful truth. Forgiveness does not erase the pain, but it stops the pain from controlling your life. May God heal every broken heart listening to this. May He give strength to those who are struggling emotionally. And may He teach us all the power of forgiveness, peace, love, and healing. On World Food Day, I want to talk about a global issue that affects millions of people: hunger. Every year, World Food Day is observed to raise awareness about the fight against hunger and malnutrition. It's a day to remind ourselves that food, which we often take for granted, is a basic human right. But sadly, millions of people around the world still struggle to access enough nutritious food to survive. The theme of this year's World Food Day focuses on building sustainable food systems. It emphasizes that while we produce enough food to feed everyone, millions are still hungry. The problem lies in how food is distributed, how it's accessed, and how it's produced. By working together, whether as individuals, organizations, or governments, we can create a system where no one has to worry about where their next meal is coming from. Hunger affects over 800 million people globally. That's about 1 in every 9 people. While some of us may go few hours without food and feel uncomfortable, millions live with that feeling of emptiness and weakness every day. Food insecurity, the lack of reliable access to nutritious food, is a harsh reality for these people. This is more than just skipping meals, it's a struggle for survival. One of the main reasons hunger exists on such a large scale is poverty. When people don't have enough money to buy food, they go hungry. But hunger isn't just caused by a lack of money. Many face hunger due to natural disasters, conflict, or being forced to leave their homes, making it difficult to grow food or find work. Climate change is also a big part of the problem. Changing weather patterns like floods, droughts, or extreme temperatures have made farming hard in many parts of the world. Farmers can't grow enough food to support their families or communities, which leads to widespread hunger. But let's not just think about hunger as something that happens far away from us. Hunger can affect people in all walks of life and in all parts of the world. Some people may live in places where food is available, but they simply can't afford to buy it. Others may live in regions where there is no access to food at all, or where the land has been too damaged by climate change or poor farming practices to grow anything. Hunger affects men, women, and especially children, and its effects can last for generations if we don't address it properly. One of the most heartbreaking consequences of hunger is how it affects children. Children need food not just to grow but to develop mentally and physically. Without proper nutrition, children can suffer from stunted growth and cognitive development issues, making it hard for them to concentrate in school or fully participate in daily life. Malnutrition, the lack of proper nutrients, can lead to serious health problems and sometimes even death, even if it continues over a long period. When kids don't get enough food, it's not just about feeling hungry, it can affect their entire future. Children who are malnourished are more likely to get sick, miss school, and grow up without the strength they need to support themselves as adults. Imagine the challenge of trying to focus on schoolwork or even play with friends when your body is weak from hunger. The effects of hunger on children ripple out into entire communities because when children are malnourished, their future prospects are limited. This creates a cycle where hunger, poverty, and lack of education continue to affect generation after generation. Hunger also has a huge impact on adults. Adults who are hungry often lack the energy and strength to work. This prevents them from earning money to buy food or support their families, trapping them in a cycle of poverty. It becomes a vicious cycle. Hunger leads to weakness, which leads to a lack of work, which then leads back to hunger. Breaking this cycle is essential if we are to create a world where everyone has enough to eat and the opportunity to improve their lives. But here is the good news. Hunger is a problem we can solve.
Around the world, organizations are working hard to fight hunger. These groups provide immediate food aid to those who are suffering, but they also work on long-term solutions. They teach communities how to grow crops efficiently, how to store food properly, and how to manage resources better. Some organizations are working to improve food distribution systems so that food can get to the people who need it most. There are things that we as individuals can do as well. One of the simplest way is to make a difference is by supporting organizations that are fighting hunger. You don't have to make a huge donation. Even small contributions can add up and make a significant impact. Volunteering at local food banks or community kitchens is another way to help. These places often rely on volunteers to sort, pack, and distribute food to those in need. Another important action we can all take is reducing food waste. Did you know that about 1/3 of all the food produced globally goes to waste? That's a staggering amount. When we waste food, we are not only throwing away something valuable, but we are also wasting the resources that went into producing it: water, land, and energy. By being more mindful about how much food we buy, cook, and throw away, we can help make sure more food reaches the people who need it. World Food Day is not just a reminder of the challenges we face, but also a call to action. By raising awareness, spreading knowledge, and working together, we can make a difference in the fight against hunger. Each of us has a role to play, no matter how small. Whether it's cutting down on food waste, donating to organizations that provides meal to hunger, or simply talking to others about this issue, every action counts. Let's not forget that while hunger is a global issue, it's also a human issue. Behind every statistic is a real person, a child, a mother, a father who is struggling. They are not just numbers, they are people who deserve the same basic rights that many of us enjoy. One of those rights is access to enough food to live a healthy, fulfilling life. On this World Food Day, let's remind ourselves of our shared humanity and commit to doing what we can help end hunger. Hunger may seem like an overwhelming challenge, but it's not impossible to solve. Governments, organizations, communities, and individuals must work together if we are to make a lasting impact. By taking small steps, sharing resources, and focusing on long-term solutions, we can create a future where no one has to go to bed.
Today, I want to speak about something that silently affects thousands of young people and families every single day: communication between parents and children. Many homes today are full of people, but empty of understanding. Many children are living in the same house as their parents, eating together, smiling together, but emotionally they feel completely alone. And many parents genuinely love their children, but they don't know how to understand what their children is feeling inside. A child may look normal outside, but mentally struggling every time. A parent may look strict outside, but secretly be worried and afraid for their child's future. The problem is not always lack of love. Sometimes the problem is lack of communication. When we were small children, we used to tell our parents everything, every small happiness, every small fear, every tiny problem. They were our safest place. But as we grow older, something changes. Slowly, silence enters in the relationship. The child feels misunderstood, the parent feels ignored, and distance begins to grow inside the same house. There are young people today who want to speak to their parents but don't know how. They try once and maybe they are interrupted. Maybe they are judged too quickly. Maybe their emotions are dismissed, and after that they slowly stop opening their heart. And there are parents who desperately wanted their children to talk to them, but sometimes their questions sound like pressure instead of care. Sometimes advice comes before listening. Sometimes anger comes before understanding. The truth is, communication is not just talking. Communication is making another person feel safe enough to be honest. A young boy once wanted to tell his parents that he was mentally exhausted from his studies and pressure. For weeks, he kept thinking about how to say it. One evening, he finally gathered the courage and started speaking. But before he could explain properly, his father interrupted him and said, "You are just overthinking. In our time, we never complained like this." The boy became silent immediately. He nodded and went to his room. The night he cried alone, not because his father hated him, but because he felt unheard. Many young people today are not asking for perfect parents. They are simply asking for someone who listens without immediately judging them. And parents too have pain. Many parents sacrifice silently every single day. They work hard, worry constantly, and carry responsibilities that children may never fully understand. Some parents become strict, not because they hate their children, but because they are afraid the world will hurt them. That is why understanding must happen from both sides. Communication is like building a bridge. If one side stops trying, the distance becomes bigger. Sometimes young people say, my parents never understand me, but at the same time, parents often feel, my child never talks to me anymore. Both sides are hurting silently while waiting for the other person to change first. One of the biggest mistakes families make is speaking only during problems. Real connection is built during ordinary moments, during meals, small conversations, walks together, laughter, sharing moments. Relationships become stronger not only during serious talks, but during simple daily interactions. There are children today who spend hours talking online but cannot speak honestly for 5 minutes. And there are parents who provide everything materially but forget to emotionally connect with their children. Money can't build a house, but communication builds a family. One girl was struggling emotionally in school. She felt pressure, anxiety, and loneliness. Every day her parents asked her, how was school? And every day she replied, fine. Not because she was actually fine, but because she didn't know how to explain what she was feeling. One evening, her mother stopped giving advice and simply sat beside her quietly. Not lecture, no pressure, just presence. After a few minutes, the girl slowly started crying and opened her heart completely. Sometimes people don't need solutions first, they need safety first. Many parents try to fix their children before fully listening to them, but healing often begins when someone feels hurt. And young people also need to understand something important. Parents are human too. They make mistakes. Sometimes they see the wrong things. Sometimes they don't fully understand modern pressures. But many of them are trying in the only way they know. Instead of reacting with anger immediately, sometimes we must learn patience and timing. Timing matters deeply in communication. If someone is stressed, tired, angry, or emotionally overwhelmed, even good advice can sound harsh. Wisdom is knowing not only what you say, but when to say. Imagine trying to have a deep emotional conversation when both sides are frustrated. The conversation will likely become an argument. Instead of understanding, that is why emotional maturity is important. Sometimes saying, can we talk later when we are both calm, is wiser than continuing an argument emotionally. Some children stop talking because they fear punishment. Some parents stop listening because they feel disrespected. And slowly, silence becomes normal inside the house. But silence can become dangerous because when children start speaking to parents, they often start searching for understanding in unhealthy places. Wrong friendships, social media validation, addiction, isolation, depression. That is why communication inside family is not just important, it is protection. A child who feels emotionally safe at home is less likely to search for emotional escape outside. A parent also need appreciation. Sometimes children only notice the strictness but forget the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the worries, the hidden tears, the prayers parents make for their children. Many parents act strong outside while silently carrying fear about their children's future. The problem is both generations are hurting but expressing it differently. One expresses through silence, the other expresses through control. But underneath both is love. Real communication requires humility from both sides. Sometimes parents must learn to listen more. Sometimes children must learn to speak respectfully even when it's emotional. Because shouting may release emotions for a moment, but calm communication builds understanding. Many families today argue not because they hate each other, but because nobody feels understood. Words are powerful. One harsh sentence can create emotional distance for years, but one understanding conversation can heal years of silence. Imagine how many broken relationships could heal if people simply listen without preparing a counter argument immediately. Communication is not winning, communication is understanding. And one important truth many people forget is do not always need perfect words. Honest words are enough. Some children avoid opening up because they fear sounding weak. Some parents avoid emotional conversations because they fear losing authority. But vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability builds trust. A family becomes emotionally strong when people can safely express pain without fear of humiliation. One father realized his son had become emotionally distant. Instead of scolding him, he invited him for a simple drive one evening. No pressure, no interrogation, just conversation. Slowly, the son opened up about his struggles, insecurities, and fears. Sometimes, difficult conversations becomes easier side by side rather than face to face. That is why small efforts matter. Eating together matters. Checking on someone matters. Listening matters. Apologizing matters. Yes, even parents apologizing matters sometimes. And children apologizing matters too. Ego destroys many relationships that love could have saved. And let us be honest. Today's world is emotionally exhausting for young people. Academic pressure, social media comparisons, fear of failure, loneliness, identity struggles, anxiety, relationship pain, future uncertainty. Many young people are smiling online while silently struggling mentally. That is why parents should not only ask, did you eat, but also, are you okay emotionally? And children should not assume their parents are enemies. Sometimes parents speak strongly because fear is speaking through them. Families become stronger when both sides stop trying to win and start trying to understand. Some of the strongest people in the world are not those who never cry, but those who finally learn to speak honestly about what they feel. Communication can save relationships. Communication can prevent depression. Communication can heal emotional wounds. Communication can rebuild trust. Never underestimate the power of one honest conversation. If you are a young person listening today, I want to tell you this. Please don't give up. Try to communicate with your parents, even if it feels difficult sometimes. Find the right moment. Speak calmly. Speak honestly. And remember, your emotions matter. And if you are a parent listening today, please understand this deeply. Sometimes your child's silence is not disrespect. Sometimes it is emotional fear, confusion, or pain they don't know how to express. Your child may not always need immediate advice. Sometimes they simply need your presence, patience, and understanding. One safe conversation can change someone's life forever. Imagine a home where children feel emotionally safe. Imagine parents who listening patiently. Imagine families where honesty is welcomed instead of punished. That kind of home becomes a place of healing instead of fear. At the end of life, people rarely regret spending too much time listening to loved ones. But many regret the conversation they never had. So please speak kindly, listen patiently, understand deeply, and never allow ego to become bigger than love. Because family is not only about living together, family is about understanding each other emotionally. Today, I want to speak about something that has the power to shape your future, protect your peace, influence your mindset, and even change the direction of your life forever. The importance of making good friends. Because whether we realize it or not, the people around us slowly shape who we become. Our habits, mindset, confidence, discipline, emotions, decisions, and even our dreams are deeply influenced by the company we keep. There's a powerful quote that says, "Show me your friends and I will show you your future." And honestly, that quote is very true. Some friendships build you, some friendships break you, some friendships heal you, and some friendships slowly destroy you without you even realizing it. One of the biggest mistakes young people make today is choosing friends based on only popularity, fun, social media attention, appearance, or temporary excitement. But real friendship is not built on trends or entertainment. Real friendship is built on trust, loyalty, honesty, respect, understanding, and positive influence. A true friend is not someone who only laughs with you during your best moments. A true friend is someone who stays beside you during your darkest moments. A real friend does not disappear when life becomes difficult. A real friend protects your peace instead of destroying it. And sadly, many people today are surrounded by people but still feel lonely emotionally. We live in a generation where people have thousands of followers online, but nobody they can truly trust with their pain. That is why genuine friendship has become rare and valuable. There was once a young man who had big dreams. He wanted to study well, make his parents proud, and create a successful future. But the friends around him constantly mocked discipline. They laughed at people who worked hard. They encouraged skipping classes, wasting time, and developing unhealthy habits. At first, the boy resisted, but slowly, without realizing it, he started becoming like them. His mindset changed, his focus disappeared, his confidence became weaker, his relationship with his family became distant, his dreams slowly started fading. One day, after failing an important exam, he sat alone, feeling completely broken. That evening, an older teacher sat beside him and asked a simple question. Are your friends helping you becoming the person you want to become? This question changed his life forever. Sometimes one honest question can wake up a person emotionally. The young man slowly distanced himself from negative influences and started surrounding himself with disciplined, positive, respectful people. Slowly, his life changed, his habits improved, his confidence returned, his future became brighter. And that is the power of friendship. The people around you either push you closer to your purpose or further away from it. There's another powerful quote that says, bad company corrupts good character. Even good-hearted people can slowly lose themselves when surrounded by negativity constantly. That is why choosing friends is one of the most important decisions in life. Many young people think they are strong enough not to be influenced, but influence work slowly, quietly, consistently. If your environment constantly normalizes negativity, gossip, laziness, addictions, disrespect, or toxic behavior, eventually those things start affecting your thinking too. But when you surround yourself with kind, disciplined, respectful, and inspiring people, growth starts feeling possible. Energy matters, conversation matters, influence matters. One girl once joined a new college feeling nervous and insecure. She struggled with confidence and constantly compared herself to others. Most people around her only cared about appearances and popularity. She felt invisible emotionally. But one day, she met a small group of students who treated her differently. They listened to her, encouraged her, motivated her. They never mocked her insecurities. Instead, they reminded her of her value. Slowly, her confidence grew. She started believing in herself again. Years later, she said something powerful. The right friendships didn't just change my mood, they changed my entire life. Never underestimate the emotional power of healthy friendships. Sometimes the people around you either become emotional medicine or emotional poison. A true friend should make your life healthier emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and morally. Let us talk honestly about fake friendships. Fake friendships often look attractive in the beginning. They may seem exciting, fun, and popular. But over time, fake friendships reveal themselves through jealousy, betrayal, manipulation, disrespect, competition, gossip, and selfishness. Some people only stay close to you when you are useful to them. Some people support you publicly but secretly envy your success privately. Some people clap for you in front of your face but criticize you behind your back. And some people only appear during your success but disappear during your struggles. That is not friendship. A true friend celebrates your success genuinely without feeling threatened by your growth. One of the biggest signs of emotional maturity is being happy for someone else's success without jealousy. And another important truth is, a real friend corrects you when you are wrong. Not because they hate you, but because they care about your future. Anyone can encourage your mistakes to keep you comfortable, temporarily. But wise friends help you grow even if honesty feels uncomfortable sometimes. A friend who stops you from destroying yourself is more valuable than a friend who blindly agrees with everything you do. There's a beautiful quote that says, "A friend to all is a friend to none." Not everyone deserves full access to your heart, your trust, your struggles, and your personal life immediately. Trust should grow slowly. Good friendships are built over time through honesty, consistency, loyalty, and respect. Some people confuse attention with friendship, but attention is temporary, loyalty is rare. Another mistake many young people make is staying in toxic friendships because they fear loneliness. Listen carefully. Temporary loneliness is far healthier than constant toxic company. Many people destroy their peace trying to fit into groups where they never truly belong emotionally. Never reduce your value just to feel accepted temporarily. The wrong friendships can make unhealthy behavior look normal. The right friendships can make healing, discipline, peace, and growth feel possible. Once there was a young man struggling with addiction. Most people judged him and avoided him. But one friend stayed beside him patiently. He encouraged him daily, motivated him to seek help, reminded him of his worth, and never gave up on him emotionally. Years later, after recovering completely, the young man said, "One loyal friend saved my life." That is how powerful friendship can be. Sometimes friendship is not just emotional support. Sometimes friendship becomes survival. A true friend notices when you smile, become fake. A true friend checks on you when you become unusually silent. A true friend listens without immediately judging. And sometimes the most powerful sentence a person can hear is, "Are you really okay?" Many people today are silently fighting battles nobody knows about. Depression, anxiety, family pressure, fear, loneliness, overthinking, emotional exhaustion. That is why kindness inside friendships matters deeply. Never mock someone's pain. Never expose someone's secrets for entertainment. Never use someone's vulnerability against them later. Protecting someone's trust is a part of real friendship. And another important thing, you must also learn how to become a good friend yourself. Many people constantly search for loyal friendships but never ask themselves, am I becoming the type of friend I want in my life? Friendship is not only about receiving support, it is also about giving support. Listening matters, checking on people matters, being present matters, respecting boundaries matters, apologizing matters, showing loyalty matters. Strong friendships require emotional maturity. Misunderstanding happen in every relationship, but mature people communicate instead of letting ego destroy connection. There is a quote I love. Communication creates understanding, ego creates distance. Many friendships end not because love disappeared, but because pride became bigger than understanding. Sometimes one honest conversation can save a friendship that silence was slowly destroyed. Another important lesson is learning when to let certain friendships go. Not everyone who enters your life is meant to stay forever. Some friendships are lessons, some friendships are blessings, and some friendships are warnings. Do not hate people who leave your life. Sometimes distance protects your peace. You cannot grow properly while constantly surrounded by negativity. And please remember this deeply. The number of friends you have does not define your worth. Quality matters more than quantity. One loyal, honest, trustworthy friend is worth more than 100 fake people around you. There is a reason emotionally healthy friendships feel peaceful. Because real friendship is not built on fear, competition, or constant emotional stress. Good friendships feel safe. You can be yourself without pretending. You can speak honestly without fearing of humiliation. You can grow without jealousy. And one of the most beautiful things in life is having people who genuinely want to see you successful. As life goes on, you will realize something powerful. The people you spend time with slowly become part of your mindset. That is why wise people protect their environment carefully. Protect your peace, protect your energy, protect your future. Choose friends who encourage your dreams, respect your values, speak honestly, bring peace in your life, inspire growth, stay loyal during difficult moments, push you toward becoming better. And if you cannot find healthy friendships immediately, do not lose hope. Sometimes good friendships arrive slowly. Today, I want to talk about something that affects millions of people every single day. Yet, very few people openly speak about it. The hidden struggles behind every smile. Let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever smiled in front of people while secretly hurting inside? Have you ever said, "I'm fine," when your heart was carrying a burden nobody knew about? Have you ever laughed with friends while fighting battles within yourself? If your answer is yes, then today's message is for you. Because behind many smiles, there are stories. Stories of pain, stories of heartbreak, stories of loneliness, stories of silent battles, stories that nobody sees. We live in a world where people have become experts at hiding pain. They post beautiful pictures, they upload happy moments, they celebrate achievements, they smile in public, but deep inside, many are struggling. There's a powerful quote that says, "Be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about." Think about that. Everyone you meet is carrying something. The person sitting next to you, the colleague you work with, the student in your classroom, the friend who always jokes around, the parent who always appears strong. Everyone is carrying something. The truth is, not every smile is a sign of happiness. Sometimes it is a sign of strength. Sometimes it is a sign of survival. Sometimes it is a mask to hide pain. Many people assume that happiest looking person in the room is actually happy, but appearances can be deceiving. Some of the people who smile the most are carrying the heaviest burdens. Some of the people encouraging others are desperately trying to encourage themselves. Some of the people making everyone laugh go home and cry alone. Pain doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it hides behind confidence. Sometimes it hides behind success. Sometimes it hides behind kindness. And sometimes it hides behind a beautiful smile. Once a young man walked into a crowded room. Everyone liked him. He was friendly, funny, helpful, always smiling. People admired him. People thought he had a perfect life. But what nobody knew was that every night he battled anxiety. Every morning he woke up exhausted. Every day he fought negative thoughts. Every evening he smiled again because he didn't want anyone to worry. One day someone asked, "How are you?" And he gave the same answer he always gave, "I am fine." But he wasn't fine. Not even close. Months later, he admitted something heartbreaking. He said, "Everyone noticed my smile, but nobody noticed my pain." That sentence stayed with me. Because many people feel exactly the same way. People notice achievements, people notice success, people notice appearance, but very few notice emotional pain. There is another quote that says, "The strongest people are not those who show strength in front of us, but those who win battles we know nothing about." Many people are carrying invisible pain. The pain of rejection, the pain of failure, the pain of loneliness, the pain of family problems, the pain of financial struggles, the pain of broken relationships, the pain of feeling misunderstood, the pain of feeling not good enough. These wounds may not leave visible scars, but they leave emotional scars. And emotional scars are often the hardest to heal. Sometimes people are not looking for solutions, they are looking for understanding. Sometimes they are not looking for advice, they are looking for someone who will listen. Listening is becoming rare. Understanding is becoming rare. Empathy is becoming rare. Yet, these are the exact things hurting people need the most. One young woman spent years pretending everything was okay. She smiled, worked hard, supported everyone around her, encouraged others, but inside she felt completely empty. Every night she cried alone. Every morning she put on another smile. One day, a friend noticed something different. Instead of asking, "How are you?" the friend asked, "How are you really doing?" For the first time in years, she opened her heart. For the first time in years, she felt understood. Sometimes healing begins with one genuine conversation, one caring question, one person willing to listen. Many people suffer silently because they fear being judged. They fear appearing weak. They fear becoming a burden. So they hide their struggles. They hide their fears. They hide their tears. And slowly the burden becomes heavier. Because pain shared often becomes lighter, but pain hidden often becomes heavier. Many people think strength means never crying. Many people think strength means handling everything alone. Many people think strength means pretending nothing hurts. But that is not true. Real strength is being honest. Real strength is facing reality. Real strength is asking for help when needed. Real strength is refusing to give up. There is a quote I love. Being vulnerable is not weakness, it is courage. It takes courage to open your heart. It takes courage to admit you're struggling. It takes courage to say, I need help. One day, a teacher noticed something unusual about one of his students. The student always smiled, always participated, always encouraged others. But the teacher noticed something different. The smile never reached his eyes. One afternoon, the teacher sat down beside him and asked, how are you really doing? The student immediately broke down. Years of pain came out, family pressure, fear of failure, anxiety, loneliness, stress. Everything he had hidden behind a smile. Later he said, I didn't need someone to fix my life. I just needed someone to listen. How powerful is that? Sometimes people don't need answers. Sometimes they need presence. One of the greatest gifts you can give another human being is your attention. Not your judgment, not your criticism, your attention. Once there was an elderly man who lived alone. Every day he sat outside his house. People walked past him. Nobody stopped, nobody listened, nobody noticed. One day, a young boy sat beside him. He didn't offer advice. He didn't try to impress him. He simply listened. For hours, the elderly man spoke about life, about memories, about regrets, about loneliness. Before the boy left, the elderly man said, thank you. Today was the first day in months that I felt seen. Imagine that. Months. Months without feeling seen. Months without feeling heard. That is the reality of many people. Some people are not dying from lack of food. They are dying from lack of connection, lack of understanding, lack of love, lack of hope. There is another quote that says, people may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Your kindness matters, your words matter, your presence matter. One encouraging sentence can change someone's day. One act of kindness can restore someone's hope. One conversation can prevent someone from giving up. Never underestimate the power of compassion. The world today desperately needs more kindness, more understanding, more patience, more listening. Imagine if we judged less and listened more. Imagine if we criticized less and encouraged more. Imagine if we checked on people more often. Imagine if we truly cared. The world would be a much safer place emotionally. Many people today are exhausted, not physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. They are tired of pretending, tired of smiling, tired of carrying burdens silently. And if that person is you today, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not alone. Your struggles matter. Your feelings matter. Your story matters. And most importantly, your life matters. There is another powerful quote. The wound is the place where the light enters. Sometimes our struggles teach us lessons that comfort never could. Sometimes pain develops compassion. Sometimes heartbreak develops wisdom. Sometimes failure develops strength. Sometimes disappointment develops faith. The strongest people are often the people who have suffered deeply. Not because suffering is good, but because suffering teaches things success never can. Every struggle leaves a lesson. Every storm leaves a wisdom. Every challenge leaves strength. One day, the struggle you are surviving today may become the story that helps someone else to survive tomorrow. One day, your pain may become someone else's hope. One day, your scars may become someone else's encouragement. That is why you must not give up. Keep going. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Keep hoping. Because your story is not over. This chapter is not the end. The pain will not last forever. The darkness will not last forever. The storm will not last forever. There is a beautiful quote that says, stars shine brightest in the darkest night. Maybe this is a difficult season. It's preparing you for something greater. Maybe this struggle is building strength inside you. Maybe this pain is shaping you into the person you are meant to become. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission to rest. Give yourself permission to grow. And let us also remember to be kind to others. Because behind many smiles are struggles we may never fully understand. Behind many successful people are stories of pain. Behind many confident people are stories of fear. Behind many happy faces are silent battles. So let us choose compassion. Let us choose understanding. Let us choose kindness. I want to speak about something that every single one of us uses every day. Something invisible yet incredibly powerful. Something that can build a person up or completely break them down. Something that can heal wounds or create wounds that last for years. Today we are talking about how words can heal or hurt. Let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever remembered something someone said to you years ago? Maybe it was a compliment, maybe it was an encouragement, maybe it was criticism, maybe it was an insult. But somehow, after all these years, those words are still living inside your mind. Why? Because words are powerful. Words have the power to stay with us long after the moment has passed. There is a quote that says, "Words are free. It is how you use them that may cost you." Think about that. A word takes only a second to say, but its impact can last for a lifetime. Some people are successful today because somebody believed in them and spoke life into them. And some people are still struggling today because someone spoke words that damaged their confidence. That is the power of words. Many people underestimate their words. They think it's just a joke, it's just a comment, it's just a sentence. But what is small to one person may become a scar to another. A child may forget what toy you bought them. A child may forget what meal you cooked. But they never forget words spoken to them repeatedly. Words shape identity. Words shape confidence. Words shape self-worth. There's a powerful quote. The tongue has no bones, but it is strong enough to break a heart. How true is that? A broken arm heals, a broken leg heals, but sometimes emotional wounds caused by words remain for decades. There was once a young boy who loved drawing. Every day he filled notebooks with sketches. He dreamed of becoming an artist. One day, excitedly, he showed his drawing to someone he admired. Instead of encouragement, he heard these words: "You're wasting your time. You'll never be good enough." Those words were spoken in less than 5 seconds, but they stayed with him for years. He stopped drawing, stopped believing, stopped dreaming. Not because he lacked talent, but because someone else's words became louder than his own belief. Think about how many dreams have died because of careless words. Think about how many people stopped believing in themselves because of something somebody said. That is why we must be careful. Words can either become wings or they can become chains. One encouraging sentence can change someone's life. One cruel sentence can change someone's life too. The difference is the direction. There is another quote: "Speak to people as if they are becoming what they are capable of being." What a beautiful thought. Imagine how different the world would be if we used our words to encourage instead of destroy, to build instead of break, to heal instead of wound. Many people today are fighting invisible battles: anxiety, depression, fear, loneliness, low self-esteem. And often they don't need perfect advice. They simply need encouraging words. A simple "I believe in you. You can do this. I'm proud of you. I'm here for you." Those words may seem small, but to someone struggling, they can mean everything. There was once a young girl who constantly doubted herself. No matter what she achieved, she never felt good enough. One day, a teacher noticed her efforts and said, "I see potential in you." 4 simple words: "I see potential in you." Years later, that girl said those words changed her life, because for the first time, someone saw something in her that she couldn't see in herself. Never underestimate the power of encouragement. You never know how desperately someone needs it. Sometimes one sentence can become the turning point in a person's life. And sadly, the opposite is true as well. Negative words have incredible power, especially when repeated. When a child constantly hears, "You're useless, you're lazy, you're not good enough," eventually they begin believing it. The most dangerous words are not the ones people say once. The most dangerous words are the ones people hear repeatedly. Because repetition creates belief, and belief shapes identity. That is why parents must be careful, teachers must be careful, friends must be careful, leaders must be careful, because words influence lives. There's another powerful quote: children become what they are told they are. Imagine the responsibility hidden in that sentence. Every parent is helping write the inner voice their child will carry for life. Every teacher is helping shape confidence. Every friend is influencing self-worth. Words matter. One day, a father noticed that his son had become unusually quiet. The boy rarely smiled anymore, rarely participated in activities, rarely spoke about his dreams. Finally, the father sat down and asked what was wrong. The son looked at him and said, "Dad, every time I make a mistake, you tell me what I'm doing wrong, but you never tell me what I'm doing right." The father was speechless because he realized he had spent years correcting, but very little time encouraging. Many relationships suffer because people focus on faults more than strengths. People grow where encouragement exists. People wither where criticism dominates. This does not mean we never correct people. Correction is important, but correction without compassion creates wounds. Correction with love creates growth. Even in friendships, words matter. Some friendships become safe places because of encouraging communication. Others become toxic because of constant negativity. Ask yourself, when people leave a conversation with me, do they feel stronger or weaker? Do they feel encouraged or discouraged? Do they feel valued or judged? Because our words leave emotional footprints. Every conversation leaves something behind. A memory, a feeling, a lesson, an impression. And often people remember how you made them feel more than what you actually said. One of the greatest gifts we can give someone is kind words, especially in difficult times. When people is grieving, when someone is struggling, when someone feels alone, when someone feels like giving up, your words can become medicine. There's a quote that says, "Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless." Think about that, endless echoes. Some people are still encouraged today by words spoken to them 20 years ago. And sadly, some people are still hurting today because of words spoken 20 years ago. Words live longer than we think. That is why wisdom matters. Before speaking, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? If the answer is no, perhaps silence is better. Because sometimes the most powerful words are the ones we choose not to say. Many arguments begin because people speak emotionally instead of wisely. Anger often says things wisdom never would. And once words leave our mouth, we cannot take them back. There's a quote, "A sharp tongue can cut deeper than a sword." How many relationships have been damaged because of words spoken in anger? How many friendships ended? How many families became distant? How many hearts were wounded? All because of words. That is why emotional maturity matters. Learn to pause before speaking. Learn to listen before responding. Learn to understand before judging. Because words spoken with wisdom create peace. Words spoken carelessly create pain. And finally, let us remember the healing power of words. Your words can inspire. Your words can comfort. Your words can restore hope. Your words can help someone survive a difficult season. There are people around you right now who need encouragement, people who need hope, people who need kindness, people who need to hear. You matter, you are loved, you are stronger than you think. Don't give up. Maybe today your words can become someone else's healing. Maybe your encouragement can become someone else's breakthrough. Maybe your kindness can become someone else's reason to keep going. Ask you something simple. When was the last time you sat quietly without your phone and just thought? Not scrolling, not tapping, not refreshing, just thinking. If that question makes you uncomfortable, then this conversation is exactly what you need. Because today, we are not just talking about phones. We are talking about control, awareness, and the direction of your life. We live in a world where the first thing we touch in the morning is not our goals, not our thoughts, not even the people we love. It is our phones. Before our feet even touch the ground, our mind is already inside a screen. Messages, notifications, reels, videos. And without realizing it, your day has already been hijacked. You didn't choose your morning, your phone did. you understand this clearly. Mobile phones are not evil. Technology is not your enemy. In fact, your phone is one of the most powerful tools ever created. It can teach you skills, build your career, connect you to opportunities, and even change your life. But here is the problem. Most people are not using their phones as tools. They are using them as distractions. And slowly, silently, this distraction is becoming addiction. Addiction does not start loudly. It whispers. It starts with just 5 minutes. It grows with just one more video. And it traps you with, I'll stop after this. But you never stop because your brain gets used to instant pleasure. Every like, every notification, every new video gives you a small burst of dopamine, the chemical that makes you feel good. And your brain begins to crave it again and again. Over time, you don't use your phone because you need it. You use it because your brain demands it. And here is where the real damage begins. Your attention span starts shrinking. Tasks that require focus feel boring. Studying becomes difficult. Reading feels slow. Even conversations feel like tiring. Why? Because your brain is trained to expect constant stimulation. Real life cannot compete with that speed, that color, that excitement. So slowly you start disconnecting with reality. But the effects don't stop here. Your mental health begins to suffer. You start comparing your life with what you see online. Everyone looks happy, successful, confident, and suddenly your own life feels less. This constant comparison creates anxiety, stress, and dissatisfaction. You begin to doubt yourself, not because you are failing, but because you are watching filtered versions of other people's lives. Then comes sleep. Late night scrolling becomes a habit. Just 10 minutes turns into 1 hour, then 2 hours. Your body is tired, but your mind is still active. Blue light from the screen disrupts your sleep cycle. You wake up tired, low on energy, and unmotivated. And the cycle repeats again the next day. Now, let's talk about relationships. Look around you. Families sitting together, but everyone is on their own phones. Friends meeting, but instead of talking, they are recording. Conversations are shorter. Connections are weaker. You are physically present, but mentally absent. And over time, this distance grows. Not because people don't care, but because attention has been divided. Let me tell you something important. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Wherever your attention goes, your life follows. If your attention is constantly on meaningless content, your life will slowly become meaningless. If your attention is focused on growth, learning, and purpose, your life will reflect that. Now, pause for a moment and ask yourself, how many hours do you spend on your phone every day? And how many of those hours actually help you grow? If you are spending 3 to 4 or even 6 hours daily just scrolling, calculate that over a year. That is thousands of hours. Imagine what you could achieve if even half of that time was invested in learning a skill, improving your health, or building your future. This is not just about time, this is about direction. Because every day, you are either building your life or escaping from it. There's no in between. Now, here is the hard truth. Your phone is not controlling you. You are allowing it to. And the moment you accept that responsibility, you gain the power to change it. So how do you break free? Not with extreme decisions, not by throwing away your phone, but by creating awareness and discipline. Start your mornings. The first 30 minutes after you wake up should belong to you, not your phone. No messages, no social media. Just sit, think, plan your day. Or do something that strengthens your mind. This small change can completely shift your energy. Next, set clear limits. Decide how much time you will spend on your phone for entertainment and stick to it. Use tools if needed, but more importantly, build self-control, because discipline is not about restriction, it is about freedom. Create phone-free zones in your life. While eating, while studying, while talking to someone, keep your phones away. Be fully present. You will notice how much deeper your experiences become. Replace the habit. You cannot remove an addiction without replacing it. Read books, exercise, learn something new, spend time outdoors, talk to real people, build real experiences, because real life is always more powerful than virtual life if you give it a chance. And most importantly, use your phone with purpose. Every time you pick it up, ask yourself, why am I using this right now? If you don't have a clear answer, put it down. Remember this, your phone can either be a weapon of distraction or a tool for growth. The choice is yours. The same device that wastes your time can also build your career, your knowledge, and your future. Your life is not meant to be lived through a screen. It is meant to be experienced, felt, and created. You have dreams, goals, and potential, but none of that will matter if your time and attention are constantly being consumed by something that gives you nothing in return. So today, make a decision, not tomorrow, not someday, today. Decide that you will take back control. Decide that you will use your phone, not be used by it. Decide that you will invest your time in things that actually matter. Because at the end of the day, the question is simple. Are you living your life or are you just scrolling through it? Thank you. Today, I want to speak about something that silently affects thousands of young people and families every single day. Communication between parents and children. Many homes today are full of people, but empty of understanding. Many children are living in the same house as their parents, eating together, smiling together, but emotionally they feel completely alone. And many parents genuinely love their children, but they don't know how to understand what their children is feeling inside. A child may look normal outside, but mentally struggling every time. A parent may look strict outside, but secretly be worried and afraid for their child's future. The problem is not always lack of love. Sometimes the problem is lack of communication. When we were small children, we used to tell our parents everything, every small happiness, every small fear, every tiny problem. They were our safest place. But as we grow older, something changes. Slowly, silence enters in the relationship. The child feels misunderstood, the parent feels ignored, and distance begins to grow inside the same house. There are young people today who want to speak to their parents but don't know how. They try once and maybe they are interrupted. Maybe they are judged too quickly. Maybe their emotions are dismissed, and after that they slowly stop opening their heart. And there are parents who desperately wanted their children to talk to them, but sometimes their questions sound like pressure instead of care. Sometimes advice comes before listening. Sometimes anger comes before understanding. The truth is, communication is not just talking. Communication is making another person feel safe enough to be honest. A young boy once wanted to tell his parents that he was mentally exhausted from his studies and pressure. For weeks, he kept thinking about how to say it. One evening, he finally gathered the courage and started speaking. But before he could explain properly, his father interrupted him and said, "You are just overthinking. In our time, we never complained like this." The boy became silent immediately. He nodded and went to his room. The night he cried alone, not because his father hated him, but because he felt unheard. Many young people today are not asking for perfect parents. They are simply asking for someone who listens without immediately judging them. And parents too have pain. Many parents sacrifice silently every single day. They work hard, worry constantly, and carry responsibilities that children may never fully understand. Some parents become strict, not because they hate their children, but because they are afraid the world will hurt them. That is why understanding must happen from both sides. Communication is like building a bridge. If one side stops trying, the distance becomes bigger. Sometimes young people say, "My parents never understand me," but at the same time, parents often feel, "My child never talks to me anymore." Both sides are hurting silently while waiting for the other person to change first. One of the biggest mistakes families make is speaking only during problems. Real connection is built during ordinary moments, during meals, small conversations, walks together, laughter, sharing moments. Relationships become stronger not only during serious talks, but during simple daily interactions. There are children today who spend hours talking online but cannot speak honestly for 5 minutes. And there are parents who provide everything materially but forget to emotionally connect with their children. money can't build a house, but communication builds a family. One girl was struggling emotionally in school. She felt pressure, anxiety, and loneliness. Every day her parents asked her, "How was school?" And every day she replied, "Fine." Not because she was actually fine, but because she didn't know how to explain what she was feeling. One evening, her mother stopped giving advice and simply sat beside her quietly. Not lecture, no pressure, just presence. After a few minutes, the girl slowly started crying and opened her heart completely. Sometimes people don't need solutions first, they need safety first. Many parents try to fix their children before fully listening to them, but healing often begins when someone feels hurt. And young people also need to understand something important. Parents are human too. They make mistakes. Sometimes they see the wrong things. Sometimes they don't fully understand modern pressures. But many of them are trying in the only way they know. Instead of reacting with anger immediately, sometimes we must learn patience and timing. Timing matters deeply in communication. If someone is stressed, tired, angry, or emotionally overwhelmed, even good advice can sound harsh. Wisdom is knowing not only what you say, but when to say. Imagine trying to have a deep emotional conversation when both sides are frustrated. The conversation will likely become an argument. Instead of understanding, that is why emotional maturity is important. Sometimes saying, "Can we talk later?" when we are both calm is wiser than continuing an argument emotionally. Some children stop talking because they fear punishment. Some parents stop listening because they feel disrespected. And slowly, silence becomes normal inside the house. But silence can become dangerous because when children start speaking to parents, they often start searching for understanding in unhealthy places. Wrong friendships, social media validation, addiction, isolation, depression. That is why communication inside family is not just important, it is protection. A child who feels emotionally safe at home is less likely to search for emotional escape outside. A parent also need appreciation. Sometimes children only notice the strictness but forget the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the worries, the hidden tears, the prayers parents make for their children. Many parents act strong outside while silently carrying fear about their children's future. The problem is both generations are hurting but expressing it differently. One expresses through silence, the other expresses through control. But underneath both is love. Real communication requires humility from both sides. Sometimes parents must learn to listen more. Sometimes children must learn to speak respectfully even when it's emotional. Because shouting may release emotions for a moment, but calm communication builds understanding. Many families today argue not because they hate each other, but because nobody feels understood. Words are powerful. One harsh sentence can create emotional distance for years, but one understanding conversation can heal years of silence. Imagine how many broken relationships could heal if people simply listen without preparing a counter argument immediately. Communication is not winning, communication is understanding. And one important truth many people forget is you do not always need perfect words. Honest words are enough. Some children avoid opening up because they fear sounding weak. Some parents avoid emotional conversations because they fear losing authority. But vulnerability is not weakness. Vulnerability builds trust. A family becomes emotionally strong when people can safely express pain without fear of humiliation. One father realized this. His son had become emotionally distant. Instead of scolding him, he invited him for a simple drive one evening. No pressure, no interrogation, just conversation. Slowly, the son opened up about his struggles, insecurities, and fears. Sometimes, difficult conversation becomes easier side by side rather than face to face. That is why small efforts matter. Eating together matters, checking on someone matters, listening matters, apologizing matters. Yes, even parents apologizing matters sometimes. And children apologizing matters too. Ego destroys many relationships that love could have saved. And let us be honest, today's world is emotionally exhausting for young people. academic pressure, social media comparisons, fear of failure, loneliness, identity struggles, anxiety, relationship pain, future uncertainty. Many young people are smiling online while silently struggling mentally. That is why parents should not only ask, did you eat, but also, are you okay emotionally? And children should not assume their parents are enemies. Sometimes parents speak strongly because fear is speaking through them. Families become stronger when both sides stop trying to win and start trying to understand. Some of the strongest people in the world are not those who never cry, but those who finally learn to speak honestly about what they feel. Communication can save relationships. Communication can prevent depression. Communication can heal emotional wounds. Communication can rebuild trust. Never underestimate the power of one honest conversation. If you are a young person listening today, I want to tell you this. Please don't give up. Try to communicate with your parents, even if it feels difficult sometimes. Find the right moment. Speak calmly. Speak honestly. And remember, your emotions matter. And if you are a parent listening today, please understand this deeply. Sometimes your child's silence is not disrespect. Sometimes it is emotional fear, confusion, or pain they don't know how to express. Your child may not always need immediate advice. Sometimes they simply need your presence, patience, and understanding. One safe conversation can change someone's life forever. Imagine a home where children feel emotionally safe. Imagine parents who listening patiently. Imagine families where honesty is welcome instead of punishment. That kind of home becomes a place of healing instead of fear. At the end of life, people rarely regret spending too much time listening to loved ones. But many regret the conversation they never had. So please speak kindly, listen patiently, understand deeply, and never allow ego to become bigger than love. Because family is not only about living together, family is about understanding each other emotionally. Thank you. This is Fiddle Johnson. And always remember this powerful truth. Sometimes the conversation you are avoiding is a conversation that could heal you. Hello everyone, doing well today. I want to talk about something that has the power to completely transform your life. It is not talent, it is not luck, and it is not intelligence. It is something far more powerful, yet often overlooked. Today, we are going to talk about the power of self-discipline. Before we begin, I wanted to pause for a moment and ask yourself a simple question. What do I truly want from my life? Do you dream of becoming successful in your career? Do you want financial freedom, better health, a happy family, inner peace, or simply to become the best version of yourself? Every one of us has dreams, but dreams alone never change lives. Action does. Now let me ask you another question. How many times have you promised yourself that you would change, only to return to your old habits? Perhaps you said, from tomorrow I'll wake up early, I'll exercise every day, I'll stop wasting time, I'll save more money, I'll read more books, I'll spend less time on my phone. At that moment, you were excited and motivated. You believed this time would be different. But after a few days, reality returned. The alarm rang, but you pressed the snooze button. The gym membership remained unused. The books stayed on the shelf. The savings disappeared. Your goals slowly faded away. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Is it because you're not intelligent enough? No. Is it because you don't have talent? No. Is it because successful people are luckier than you? Absolutely not. The real reason is much deeper. It is the absence of self-discipline. Motivation is a wonderful feeling. It fills us with excitement, hope, and energy. It inspires us to begin something new. But motivation is like a spark. It burns brightly for a short time and then fades away. Self-discipline is different. Self-discipline is the fire that continues to burn long after motivation has disappeared. Motivation says, I'll do it when I feel like it. Self-discipline says, I'll do it because it needs to be done. That single difference separates people who only dream from those who achieve their dreams. Think about the people you admire the most: athletes, entrepreneurs, teachers, doctors, artists, scientists, and great leaders. Do you think they woke up every morning feeling motivated? Of course not. They had days when they were tired, discouraged, and tempted to quit. But they continued anyway because discipline is stronger than emotion. Successful people do not wait for perfect conditions. They create opportunities through consistent effort. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is, if I had more talent, I would succeed. If I had more money, I could achieve my dreams. If I had better connections, I would be successful. But history proves otherwise. Many of the world's greatest achievers started with very little. They were not born into perfect circumstances. They simply chose to keep showing up every single day. They chose discipline over excuses. Here is something that completely changed my perspective. Self-discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. A student who studies consistently enjoys success later. A person who exercises regularly enjoys better health. Someone who saves money experiences financial peace. A person who controls anger builds stronger relationships. Discipline may feel difficult today, but it creates freedom tomorrow. A lack of discipline feels comfortable today, but it often creates pain tomorrow. Every day we stand at a crossroad. One path is easy, it tells us to sleep a little longer, scroll through social media for another hour, skip today's workout, spend money we don't have, and postpone our responsibilities until tomorrow. The other path is harder. It tells us to wake up now, read one more chapter, exercise even when we are tired, keep our promises, and finish what we started. One path offers temporary comfort, the other builds an extraordinary future. The question is, which path are you choosing today? There is a saying that has inspired millions of people. Your future is created by what you do today or tomorrow. Champions are not made on the day of the competition. They are made during thousands of unseen moments when no one is watching. Successful is built in ordinary mornings, quiet evenings, and small daily decisions. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, responsibility over comfort, and action over procrastination, you move one step closer to the life you dreamt about. The greatest battle you will ever fight is not against another person, it is against yourself. Every single day, two voices speak inside your mind. One voice says, sleep a little longer. You can start tomorrow. One more episode won't matter, just this once. The other voice says, get up, keep your promise, stay focused, finish what you started. The voice that becomes stronger is one you choose to listen to every day. Remember this, success is not an event, it is a habit. Failure is rarely one big mistake. More often, it is the result of hundreds of small, undisciplined decisions repeated over time. In the same way, extraordinary success is built through hundreds of disciplined choices repeated every single day. Today, I want to challenge you. Don't aim to become perfect overnight. Instead, aim to become just 1% better than yesterday. Read one more page, walk one more kilometer, save a little more money, learn one new skill, speak one kind word, build one healthy habit. Small improvements repeated consistently create extraordinary lives. Before I end this, I want you to remember one powerful truth. Your future is not determined by your past mistakes, your failures, your background, or your circumstances. Your future is shaped by the disciplined choices you make every single day. So stop waiting for motivation. Build self-discipline, because motivation may start your journey, but self-discipline will carry you all the way to your destination.
Ask you a question. Have you ever looked at your life and thought, why is everything going wrong? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, nothing seems to work? Have you ever smiled in front of people while secretly worrying about your future? If your answer is yes, then today's message is especially for you. Because today, we're not just talking about positive thinking, we're talking about a way of living, a way of seeing life, a way of overcoming difficulties, a way of becoming stronger than your circumstances. So, wherever you are watching this video from, I encourage you to stay with me until the very end, because one positive thought can change an entire life. There is a beautiful quote that says, your life today is the result of the thoughts you believed yesterday. Your future will be shaped by the thoughts you choose today. Think about that. Everything begins with a thought. Every invention, every business, every relationship, every success, every dream started as a single thought. If thoughts can create success, negative thoughts can also create failure. That is why protecting your mind is one of the most important responsibilities you have. Many people think positive thinking means pretending life is perfect. No, positive thinking does not mean you never cry. It does not mean you never fail. It does not mean you never feel discouraged. Positive thinking simply means you refuse to let temporary problems become permanent beliefs. It means believing that this difficult chapter is not the final chapter. It means believing that tomorrow can be better than today. Imagine two people walking through the same storm. The rain is the same, the wind is the same, the darkness is the same. But one person keeps saying, I'll never make it. This is the end. I cannot continue. The other person says, this storm cannot last forever. I will learn from this. I'll become stronger because of this. Both experience the same storm, but they arrive at different destinations. Why? Because your attitude determines your direction. There's another quote I absolutely love. A negative mind will never give you a positive life. Let that sink in. Many people pray for a better life while feeding their minds with fear every single day. They expect success but think failure. They expect peace but think worry. They expect happiness but think negativity. Your mind cannot produce what you never plant. Think of your mind as a garden. Every single day, seeds are being planted. The books you read, the people you spend time with, the videos you watch, the conversations you have, the music you listen to, the words you speak to yourself, every one of them is planting something inside your mind. And eventually, whatever you plant will grow. If you plant fear, fear grows. If you plant jealousy, jealousy grows. If you plant gratitude, peace grows. If you plant hope, confidence grows. The question is, what are you feeding your mind every day? One day, an old man was sitting under a tree with his grandson. The little boy asked, Grandfather, why do I sometimes feel like there's a battle inside me? The grandfather smiled and replied, because inside every human being there are two wolves fighting. One wolf represents fear, anger, jealousy, negativity, bitterness. The other wolf represents hope, kindness, faith, love, peace, and gratitude. The little boy thought for a moment and then asked, Grandfather, which wolf wins? The old man smiled again and said, the one you feed. That story contains one of the greatest life lessons. Every day you're feeding something. The question is, what are you feeding? Many people wake up every morning and immediately begin feeding negativity. I can't, I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'll never succeed, I'll always fail. Imagine hearing those words every single day. Eventually your mind begins believing in them, because your mind listens to you more than anyone else. That is why you must become careful about the conversation you have with yourself. There's another powerful quote. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Think about that. Many people encourage everyone else but constantly criticize themselves. They forgive everyone else but never forgive themselves. They believe in everyone else but never believe in themselves. How can you expect confidence to grow if your own thoughts keep destroying it? Many people spend their entire lives waiting for the perfect moment to become happy. I'll be happy when I get a better job. I'll be happy when I earn money. I'll be happy when I buy my dream house. I'll be happy when everyone appreciates me. But happiness doesn't begin with circumstances, it begins with your mindset. There's another beautiful quote that says, happiness is not having everything, it is appreciating everything you already have. How many blessings do we overlook every single day? The ability to wake up, the ability to walk, to see, to hear, to breathe. Many people pray for the things we take for granted. That is why gratitude is one of the greatest expressions of positive thinking. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who complained every day about his old shoes. Every morning he looked at them and wished he had a new pair. One day, while walking through the city, he saw a man sitting on the roadside. The man had no legs. At that very moment, his complaint disappeared. He realized something powerful. Sometimes we complain because we compare ourselves with people who have more. Instead, we should compare ourselves with where we once were and appreciate how far we have come. There is a quote that says, gratitude turns what we have into enough. Life is not fair. Every one of us experiences pain. Some lose loved ones, some lose jobs, some face illness, some experience betrayal, some struggle financially. Some silently fight anxiety and depression. Positive thinking does not deny these realities. Instead, it gives us the courage to face them without losing hope. There's another beautiful quote. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. That is what positive thinking does. It teaches us to adjust instead of giving up. Many years ago, a small eagle's egg accidentally fell into a chicken's farm. The egg hatched among chickens. The little eagle grew up believing it was a chicken. It scratched the ground. It never tried to fly. It watched the sky every day and admired the eagles flying high above. One day it asked an old chicken, "What are those beautiful birds?" The chicken replied, "They are eagles. They are born to fly. We are only chickens." The eagle believed the lie. It lived and died without discovering who it really was. Many people are living exactly like that eagle. They have enormous potential, but they believe the negative voices around them. You will never succeed. You are not smart enough. You will always fail. And because they believe those lies, they never discover what they are capable of becoming. There's a quote that says, "Don't let someone else's opinion become your reality." How many dreams have died because of people listen to criticism instead of believing themselves? How many businesses were never started? How many books were never written? How many songs were never sung? How many inventions were never created? Simply because someone believed the wrong voice. The most powerful voice in your life is not your parents', not your friends', not your teachers'. It's your own inner voice. What are you saying to yourself every day when you fail? Do you say, "I'm a failure," or do you say, "I learned something valuable"? When life becomes difficult, do you say, "I can't," or do you say, "I'll find a way"? Your words shape your thinking, and your thinking shapes your future. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I just found 10,000 more ways that won't work." Imagine if he had stopped after his first failure. Imagine if he had believed that people who laughed at him. Imagine if he had allowed negative thinking to control his life. The world would have been different. Success belongs to people who refuse to give up. There's another inspiring quote. Your greatest limitation is often the one you place on yourself. Many people are not defeated by circumstances. They are defeated by their own thoughts. Fear tells them, "Don't try." Doubt tells them, "You'll fail." Past mistakes tell them, "You'll never change." But faith whispers, "Take one more step." Sometimes one more step is all it takes to change your life. Think about a baby learning to walk. Does the baby fall? Yes, once, no, twice, no, hundreds of times. But the baby never says, "Walking isn't for me." Imagine if babies thought like adults. None of us would ever learn to walk. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. Every successful person has failed. The difference is they didn't stay on the ground. There's another beautiful quote. Fall 7 times, stand up on the 8th. That is positive thinking. Not pretending you never fell, but refusing to stay there. Look at nature. The sun sets every evening and it rises again every morning. Trees lose their leaves, yet they bloom again. After every storm comes a rainbow. Nature itself teaches us hope. If nature refuses to give up, why should we? Never allow one bad day to convince you that you have a bad life. Never allow one failure to convince you that you are a failure. Never allow one rejection to convince that you are worthless, because your value is not determined by one moment. Your future has begun than your current situation. Many people are waiting for life to become easier before they become positive. But life doesn't always become easier. Sometimes you become stronger. There is a quote that says, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. Think about those words. You cannot control everything that happens in your life. You cannot stop people from criticizing you. You cannot prevent disappointments. You cannot stop unexpected challenges, but you can always choose your response. That choice determines your future. One day, a man walked into a room carrying two glasses. One glass was filled with clean water. The other contained muddy water. He asked everyone, which one would you drink? Everyone pointed to the clean water. He smiled and said, your mind is exactly the same. If you keep filling it with fear, jealousy, anger, complaints, negativity, your life will begin to reflect what you have been feeding your mind. But if you fill your mind with hope, faith, love, kindness, encouragement, your life begins to change from the inside out. There is another beautiful quote. Your mind believes what you tell it repeatedly. That is why affirmations matter. Every morning when you wake up, speak life into yourself. Say, I'm capable, I'm growing, I'll overcome, I'll not give up, I believe God has a purpose for my life. At first, it may feel strange, but slowly your mind begins to believe what your heart repeatedly hears. One of the greatest enemies of positive thinking is comparison. Today, social media has made comparison easier than ever before. We compare our beginning to someone else's success. We compare our struggles to someone else's highlights. We compare our ordinary days to someone else's best moments. But remember this, you are comparing your real life to someone's edited life. There is a quote, comparison is the thief of joy. When you constantly compare yourself with others, you stop appreciating your own journey. Every person has a different story. Every person has a different purpose. Every person has a different timeline. Just because someone succeeds before you doesn't mean you have failed. Your season is coming. Keep preparing, keep believing, keep moving forward. Thank you. Begin by asking you a simple question. What is the one thing that every human being wants, regardless of age, education, wealth, religion, or nationality? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it success? Those things are important to many people, but there's something even more valuable. Every human being wants to be respected. Respect is one of the greatest gifts you can give to another person. It costs nothing, yet it can heal broken relationships, build trust, inspire confidence, and transform lives. Today, let's talk about why respect truly matters. There is a powerful quote that says, respect is earned by giving it. Many people demand respect, but very few are willing to give it first. The truth is, respect is like a mirror. The more you show it to others, the more it is reflected back to you. Respect isn't weakness. Respect isn't fear. Respect isn't submission. Respect is a reflection of your character. Think about this for a moment. Two people may have the same education, the same job, the same income, but one is admired wherever they go, while the other struggles to build meaningful relationships. Why? Because people may admire your talents, but they trust your character. And one of the greatest signs of character is respect. There is another quote that I love. People may forget your words, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Your words can leave scars. Your words can also bring healing. A respectful word spoken at the right time can encourage someone who's ready to give up. Never underestimate the power of speaking kindness. Let me tell you a story. There was once a successful businessman who visited a restaurant. The manager welcomed him with great respect. The waiter served him politely. Everything seemed perfect. But while eating, he noticed something. The same manager who treated him kindly was shouting at the cleaner and speaking harshly to the kitchen staff. When the businessman finished his meal, he quietly left. Later, someone asked him why he never returned. He answered, "Anyone can respect people who are important. True character is shown by how you treat people who can do nothing for you." What a powerful lesson. Your character is not revealed by how you treat your boss. It is revealed by how you treat the security guard, the cleaner, the driver, the waiter, the child, the elderly. Everyone deserves dignity. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that respect must be earned before it is given. Yes, trust is earned, leadership is earned, authority may be earned, but basic human respect should be given to everyone, because every person has value, every person has feelings, every person is fighting battles we cannot see. There's another beautiful quote: "Be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about." Imagine if we remembered that every day. Imagine how differently we would speak, how differently we would judge, how differently we would respond. Respect begins at home. Many people are polite outside their homes but rude to the people who love them the most. We smile at strangers but we lose our patience with our parents. We speak kindly to customers but harshly to our spouse. We encourage our friends but criticize our children. Real respect begins with the people closest to us, because character isn't what you display in public. Character is who you are when nobody is watching. Children learn respect by watching adults. If parents speak respectfully to one another, children learn respect. If teacher treats students with dignity, students learn respect. If leaders serve others with humility, people learn respect. Respect spreads from one heart to another. There is a famous saying: children may not always listen to your advice, but they will always imitate your example. That is why your actions matter more than your words. Respect also matters in friendship. A true friend celebrates your success instead of becoming jealous. A true friend listens before judging. A true friend keeps your confidence. A true friend tells you the truth with love, not with cruelty. Without respect, friendship becomes selfish. With respect, friendship becomes a blessing. One day, two close friends had a serious misunderstanding. Both were hurt. Both had reasons to be angry. The first friend wanted to win the argument. The second friend wanted to save the friendship. Guess which one succeeded? The one who chose respect over pride. Sometimes you have to decide what is more important: winning an argument or keeping a relationship. There is another quote: maturity is learning to disagree without becoming disrespectful. How relevant that is today. People have different opinions, different beliefs, different experiences. We don't have to agree on everything, but we can still speak respectfully. Respect does not mean agreement. Respect means recognizing the dignity of another human being. Respect is also essential in the workplace. Employees respect leaders who are fair. Leaders earn loyalty when they value their teams. Titles may give you authority, but respect gives you influence. People follow position for a while. They follow character for a lifetime. The greatest leaders are not those who command people. They are those who inspire people. There is a powerful quote: a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Leadership begins with respect. Respect also means respecting yourself. Many people seek approval from everyone else while neglecting their own values. Self-respect means choosing honesty over shortcuts. Discipline over excuses, integrity over popularity. It means refusing to compromise your character just to fit in. When you respect yourself, you make better decisions. You choose healthier relationships. You set healthy boundaries. You value your time. And you stop accepting less than what aligns with your principles. Never confuse self-respect with arrogance. Arrogance says, "I am better than everyone." Self-respect says, "I know my value. I also respect yours." That is true confidence. Finally, remember this: respect is not just about saying please and thank you. It is about listening. It is about encouraging. It is about forgiving. It is about treating every person with kindness, whether they can benefit you or not. Every interaction is an opportunity to leave someone better than you found them. As I conclude, I want to leave you with one final story. A wise teacher wrote 2 words on a blackboard: respect or success. He asked his students, which comes first? Most answered success. The teacher smiled and shook his head. He said, success may make people notice you, but respect is what makes them remember you. Money can be lost, fame can fade, beauty can disappear, power can end. But a life built on respect leaves a legacy that lasts far beyond your lifetime. Let me leave you with these final words. Respect people who are younger than you. Respect people who are older than you. Respect people who agree with you. Respect people who disagree with you. Respect people who have much. Respect people who have little. Because every person is valuable. Every person deserves dignity. And every act of respect makes this world a little better. Always remember, respect costs nothing, but it is one of the most valuable gifts you can ever give. Thank you. Bye.